Okay, so it's 1 in the morning. But I feel like I slept okay, so I feel okay. And in all these different days, it is so rare for me to ever get to go back to sleep at all. Usually, the amount of sleep and however chopped up it is I get in those first few hours, that's it. I don't get more. And but I'm so much more of in the mindset of working on that being enough. Telling myself that I'm okay and seeing how that works. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. Yesterday, I did a ponytail. I was doing some stuff. I think I'll finish that other shirt today. If I don't finish it today, probably tomorrow. But anyways, while I was sitting there, I don't know, I like to keep my hair back a lot sometimes because it just gets all over in the place. And so I had put a ponytail, and when I had done it, it was so trippy because I was like, oh my gosh, there's no white. It was like the first time I had seen my hair. Yesterday, it seemed like it did like a little jump or something, my hair. It was trippy. And when I put my hair back, I was like, oh my gosh. It was lighter, just like right there, but it was just so much more dark. I couldn't believe how much darker my because some of the things I can't see so detailed. I see it more in up close stuff. Like I keep noticing how much my eyes are improving. And I don't know. I think it's all the different things. I think it's the detoxing and taking more better care of myself the right way. And also, there's a thing about the castor oil. And I've been putting castor oil on my eyes for a long time. And the castor oil, people say when they do that, their floaters go away and stuff. So I'm sure it's all the things together. That's the thing. And it's always my guides. It's like my guides bring me something and push it on me somehow. And then they start reinforcing how good it is for me or whatever. And yesterday there is something trying to break out here. There was actually something right here too, or something like trying to, and I don't know if it's because I'm disrupting it. I don't know if they've cranked up the radiation. I don't know if it's something, because it's weird when all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a whole bunch of people who have these same kind of things. And I'm not going to go in and have them biopsy and shit. No fucking way. The people who want to run to them and ask them, I just know I did fillers right where these things are fucking coming out. So when they're saying this shit, it's like put two and two together. It's not hard, especially when I've been dealing with it for a couple years now. It won't go away, won't go away. And all this stuff I've been doing and it persists. And then plus all this moving with the limp and stuff has made such a difference in my snot contact, like the compressed snot that I had all right here where I couldn't breathe so much. It is so much more clear. And I just saw this guy talking about humming, and I was humming, so it was really bothering Stella. I don't know why humming bothers her, but those noises. Okay, so like when you go into like the older kind of religion, I don't know what to call it, older practices, spiritual practices, and there was the thing about the chakras and they all are associated with this like sound, like this ah, ooh, rah, all these kind of sounds. So these sounds create a vibration inside of you. So when you make these sounds, your body has it's like it is like you're playing the tunes that your body needs, like when they talk about hertz and stuff like that. So these sounds that you make is like that is why you spend time like in mind, body, spirit meditation, healing, focusing on self and all that stuff, and do those kinds of sounds. But I had just heard this guy talking about humming, and humming, it changes. Now, it's always hard for me to repeat somebody else's stuff. It changes, it does, it wasn't your central nervous system. Maybe it was your central nervous system, whatever it does, it affects something inside your system, but it clears out your rhino, your all this stuff in there. When you're that vibration sends out and it clears out all of this kind of stuff. I was like, that's interesting. So I was listening to that because I've been so stopped up, and now it's been moving since I've been moving the lymph stuff around. And then plus I've been doing a lot of this like loosening stuff, you know, because I don't know exactly where all these spots are on lymph, you know. It's like it's just drainage. And, you know, we have like capillaries, we have like different versions of the watering system for our entire body. So once it gets out further in the skin, it is such a more smaller, these little capillary things and stuff. And then it goes deeper, it gets into more veins, and then you get into arteries and stuff like that. They all have a different kind of purpose on the tree. And so they all have different kind of ways of watering you. But so any kind of like irritation and stuff. So I guess it seems like kind of, even if you're just like I would say this starts when we're young, but you're mad about something or you're going through something. I swear to God, it starts when you're young, you know, and you can't speak for yourself and you start feeling that pain. There's so much that goes on there, but there's parts where your anger is just like in there, and then it's like fluid goes into those places. It's like, it's weird because it's kind of micro macro. It's kind of like it goes in there, like your emotions charge it to go in there. Like, so the fluid is trying to heal. That's what the fluid's always trying to do, is like this healing. The white blood cells travel through this fluid, this plasma, and they are your warrior cells. They're the ones who are trying to keep you healthy. And that is what your red blood cells give you, oxygen. So when you have depleted red blood cells, where you have a lot of that going on, that gets you to be more sick, because it's what carries the oxygen through your body. It's the carrier cells for the oxygen. And when the oxygen has to go through, it has to, like I told you, once it comes out of your heart, it is a big trip. It's got to go everywhere through your body to get back over here. And it's got to go in the whole time. It's got to be giving that oxygen to all those. It's got to be giving all that red blood cell oxygen to all your organs and shit. And so that's why you need your red blood cells to be really healthy. You need to be healthy. You have to have good circulation, because it's got a big fucking job. And then the more weight you add on, the more hard it is for this thing to move around. The white blood cells, they will travel in plasma. They are like this, they're like the warrior cells. They're the ones that come in to make you healthy. And there's other distinguishing cells of these groups, but the white blood cells are the ones, like when you get depleted of white blood cells, that's when you become immunosuppressed and stuff like that. So you need to have your white blood cells. That's why on some of their stuff that they try and kill us with is about attacking so much with our blood cells and stuff, because they have such important jobs in our body, and they can affect them so much, which affects us so much because it affects your health and all this stuff. So anyways, whatever I was saying about all that stuff, but go into this concept of the vibration and humming and stuff, and take that in to be as a part of your practice, because it sends the sound through your bodies. Like your body needs it. Like the same thing as like the healing bowls or the gongs, or I have a healing fork or a tuning fork. And sometimes I like to hit it and just listen to it. And I don't even know what vibration it is. But all these different things, it heals our body. Like that's what this whole thing was about. The guy who figured out about the hertz, about Tesla, all this stuff. So, and then those things are what keeps us fine-tuned, fine-tuning us so that we extend our time. And yesterday too, I even had this thing of like, you know, this aging thing, you know, and somebody because there will be a point where it is very weird to people when they start having people who are older by year numbers and not old like what they assume, because there's a whole changeover. So it's going to be like, I told my daughters years ago, I told her that I told my daughters this was going to happen. And I said, it's going to be kind of weird, huh? When I'm as young as you guys. I said, what's that going to be like, having your mom hanging out? And she's like the same age as you guys. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, mom. And I'm like, no, seriously, we're going to be, our age is, we're going to be reversing our ages. We're going to be going younger. Watch and see. And they are always like, okay, yeah, right, mom. But I knew that was coming. Like, I don't know, whatever. It was in my stuff that was being shown or told or something. But anyways, yeah, we're going to go back and be at this certain age looking, just because it isn't about the look. It's about the actual thing that we think is us aging is really us becoming sick from all of the stuff they're doing to us. And so, but I had this weird thing of like, because letting go of this, how many years you are, because it doesn't really make a difference. And I was thinking, what makes the difference is like what was highlighted to me is the year you were born has to do with how many different structured elements or situations that you live through, because that is like always what I'm seeing is from the time I was young, of like these different time situations that happen, these different like scenes, yeah. It's like this scenes happened. I've even called them that before, like where I was like, yeah, I was really lucky. I got to be in that Hollywood scene for a while. I got to be in that in Dallas in the new wave scene. Like there's like these periods of time, it's like the cocaine scene, that we have these periods of time that we go through these experiences. And so it's kind of like an accumulation of how many experiences that you've encountered in your time since birth, which is kind of presumably by the societal and regional situations that occur in your experience, like your area. And so those, and like I have said, is like your group, like in that area, you're all there for that experience. I've said this before, is like all the people who are here at that time, you're all here for that experience. And so all the different people are here for those different experiences. So there's a lot of experiences that we got to have in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that people, and they have no idea about what, and there's so much transformation through different experiences, especially when you have a building block of multiple experiences that you go through in your time frame of existence. And so you get all of those experiences become an accumulation of your pride, of it's like you. And so it's funny because it was just like, I mean, like, how old are you? And it is more of I've been here since 1961. That's how many experiences, and it all is based on region. It's based on where you are. Is it the experiences in every different place are completely different than one another, and all of them have different lessons and different things, and it's all depends on. It's like we're all passports. And we've all been stamped, but in all of our stamps, like nobody's passport's gonna match. All of our stamps they would all be all different, all mixed up in all the different experiences we've gone through. That is the stamping of like our DNA. It is like the creation of us. And it's trippy because we're so caught up in this, like it's so big, but really it's so small. Like we are so much more. And that's what the awakening is for you to remember. for you to come into contact with that part of yourself, because it changes your view of this world, of this life, of the interactions with the people. That's the awakening. That's what we're all waiting for. They all think, oh, you got to be awake, woke, all that stuff. That they are but it is a part of the development. It's part of the stages. It's the steps that you walk on. It's like you have to go on those steps. So this is part of, like, nobody's doing it wrong. It's not like they're not doing it fast enough and stuff. Each step has something. And it may not be that you're going to know right then. It may go in your pocket, but you're going to be pulling that back out at some point. And so each person that's going through this is going through the steps to get to where they need to be, which may be different than where we're all going to be at different places in this. And we're all here for different reasons. And we're all here some of the things are just easy for me. And I don't want people to get caught up in thinking, like it's not for them because, it's easy for some people or something. But the reason why is because I'm here to help people understand this. It's so clear to me. It's so weird to go through this experience. Like I just saw this girl, and she was saying, I think, because there was a couple of videos I just saw. One of them I'll just say real quick, because it was like going right with what I had been saying, because I can just see this energy coming. Like I can see it before it gets here. I don't know. I'm always standing out further than other people's perspectives. I can see things. It's like if we're all on this road walking, I'm somewhere here, but I'm looking way out there. And all the other people, they're either focused on who they're walking by, or they're focused on what's happening right here, where they're stumbling, what's going on. Like their focus is different. Mine's way out. And so I can see things ahead of time. And but I had just seen this guy, and it was like a confirmation of something that I was seeing so much with these girls and how desperate. It's like this part of society that has to be purged out, but it's like, oh God. And the thing that is hard about it, is because I was that. I was also that, I've also been that desperate girl, and then, a lot of people, like these girls are not going out in these skimpy clothes and stuff because they're getting bad reactions. You get what I'm saying? It's because you get so much, positive feedback when you're trying to get attention in some way from guys. And so all these girls are just taking more and more clothes off and just looking so much more desperate, but they think that they're empowering themselves and showing off how hard they work on themselves. But it's like, but they've lost all dignity and stuff. But that is the American way. And that is where other cultures look at us as like, man. And that is where I look at it as like, why isn't inside of them? What's going on? Why aren't they hearing it inside of them to something, especially like right now? But that's why it's a part of their lessons and stuff. But the guy, he was just saying, at the gym, he was like, this is getting really bad. This is getting to be like, and I'm like, they're embarrassed for the girls because it's so obvious how desperate they are. And it's like, have some dignity, have some self-respect. I guess at the gym, I don't know. This guy is saying I don't know. It sounds obscene or something. You can see through all their stuff. You can see everything so tight. You can make out every little thing. And then I don't know if it has to do with, like, are they wearing nude colors too? Like, I don't know. But everybody's trying to show how, it's the divide. Is you have these people who are so sick and overweight and beat down and stuff like that. And then you get these other people that get so in ego and focus just on the physical and, I'm going to look good. And then I'm going to go out and show everybody, and I'm going to get another guy who's going to look good because I'm going to get to choose because I'm going to look so good. It's like, yeah, but then you're going to find out you're going to make some bad choices. So, like, because you're being shallow and superficial. So that just goes with it. That just comes with the territory. So that's the lesson behind there. And, but the whole thing is it just is, you know, like just having, the guy, I don't know, just having this like team I was so aware of my whole life with me and my perspective on life and stuff and looking at things and going through life and, you know, knowing the things that are real and knowing the things that aren't real. I think my fire's going out. My heater is still blowing out cold. I think it's just some shady shit. Fucking smart ass fucking shit. Uh, so, now I think my fire is fucking cold too. The hold on a second. I'm gonna do that little air blower thing and see if I can pump it up. Hold on. Because the video I had just seen was this girl, and she was saying, oh no, it wasn't a video. It was a comment I had, and it was somebody. There's so many videos of these people, the sky videos. There's so many videos of stuff in the sky. It's constantly. All you guys go on any platform and look up sky videos, UFOs, moon, and just anything in the sky. It's wild. And I mean, there's so much. It's everything you can imagine. And so this one woman, she was doing a video, and she was showing this cloud thing, you know, like a mothership above, or some kind of cloud. Like, oh, everybody can see these cloaked UFO thing. I was just hearing, because yesterday all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's like all the people on the ship create the energy that surrounds them. So the ship is really an energetic thing that they go, it's like, I don't know. I think that some things are different than what we think because of, like, we're going to be able to do a lot more stuff than we think once we get out of this three-dimensional hole of limitation. So it's going to be just a big jump. But anyways, so this sky video, and on the comment I said, this must be an old comment too, is I always see stuff in the sky and I don't have my phone with me because I'm usually walking Stella. And I think it's weird when I see this shit. I think it's so motherfucking weird. Like, it's so fucking fake and phony, and I don't understand, like, why people do it. Like, it's weird. Like, every motherfucking thing in your life, you have a camera going, your child walks up, what? What are you saying to me? Yes, child, what? Oh, dog, what do you want, dog? Yes, yeah. It's like, are you a human? Like, what the fuck, person? There's so many of these, too, where it's like, this is fake as fuck. Like, people are setting up videos and shit. Like, they're making their own little sitcoms or something. Like, I don't even know what the fuck they got going on. It's just, you know, maybe they're just entertaining themselves. But it just seems like fake. Everything seems so fucking fake. And the people are just so fucking fake. On this, where this girl, so in this comment, I said, oh, I'd seen another ship recently up in the sky or something. So somebody just came on my thing and goes, pictures? And I was just thinking, it's so weird because they're always doing that. As people awake and they're always like, evidence? Where's the evidence? I need evidence. Show me the picture. Show me this. Show me that. Because their minds are, you know, having a hard time opening. And it's just as weird to me to have this perspective. And people won't understand it unless they've had it. Is you go through your whole life and because I talked about this stuff. Like, I talked about ghosts and aliens and shit. I talked about, like, I don't even know what. I wasn't like I would pretend like I didn't believe. No. I would tell all people all the time. They'd be like, something about God. And I'd be like, well, it's the universe. and be like, the universe. I mean, yes, the universe is like this universe has its own, you try and explain it to people and stuff. And they would always be like, God, no, it would be the universe. And so that was something that people just couldn't, It's like I said before, when you leave the church, all of a sudden everybody from the church is like, you don't believe in God. And then everybody who doesn't believe in God, just because you leave the church, they still look at you as some sort of spiritual fanatic if you talk about God. And it's just like it's all based on their perspective. Because it's just a strange perspective to go through because it's isolated. And so you have these people who don't accept you over this part because you say that that's not your God. Then you say there is a God. So then these people think you're completely crazy. And so you are isolated out there. But there was more to it because, like, I try and talk about aliens or ghosts or anything to a religious person. Well, that's demons. That's not real. Those are in your head. Those are demons, and they're trying to get you. They're trying to trick you. Go pray to the Lord Jesus. Go ask Jesus for forgiveness. Give Jesus your love, and you won't have any problems with the devils. And it's like, and when you try and say things that are off their script or out of their narrative, they can't understand. Oh, you're just crazy. You're just crazy. You're just crazy. You don't make any sense. Get your shit together. Go pray to the Lord. And then the people on the other side, then they don't believe in fuck all. Nothing is real. And all they believe in is fucking science and what they're looking at. They believe in matter. That's what matters, the matter that's right here, right now. And I'm doing everything I can about that. I'm chasing that dream. What matters, the matter. I was like, they are very, very much like, there's nothing after this. It's like, but I would say this kind of stuff all the time, but don't you feel your soul? Like, don't you feel your soul? Like, how can you say that? Like, and it's like, I think you're crazy. It's weird to go through all this stuff. And then, I didn't need proof. Oh, somebody give me, like, these people are talking in my head, explaining to me about what the universe is and stuff and what we're doing here and why we're here and all this shit. And for me to be like, well, I need some proof. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because I do that like nowadays. It's like, well, give me some proof. You want me to believe it? Give me some proof. Let's see some proof. Oh, I do that. Oh, that's funny. But anyways, I feel like I got hair in my mouth. Hold on. But maybe it wasn't. But anyways, but these people are always like, give me proof, give me proof. Like, they don't believe in shit. They don't believe in anything. And so, but it's part of the steps, but it's so, I don't know, this whole perspective. It's like you try and tell people and make fun of you. Now it's like the whole thing is very exhausting. I'm going to be very glad when everybody fucking wakes up and is like, oh yeah, wow. So all this is real. Like, oh, it's like, yeah. So, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying, but it's just as weird. But that is where it gives me like, okay, well, there's a reason to it. There's a point to it. And it's like to be an echo throughout this, to keep telling people like, this is real. This is real. Like, I've been living different. Like, there's a spiritual aspect to life, and I've been living through that. And that is where you find peace, you find purpose, you find, where things make sense. It's like, and then the more you connect to your guides. And yesterday, what was it? It was something really cool because they've been really working on this with me. Like, I've been working on this for a while, of being able to really be sharply listening to them right the second they say something. And so, what was it? It was yesterday was something. Because sometimes I'll argue with them. Well, I don't want to do that right now. Well, there's like an argument sometimes. But there was, what was it? It was something I was doing, but then it was like, I started doing it, and they must have been telling me. And it was, so when they told me and I was doing it, I was like, oh, okay, yes, okay. I'm catching on. I'm hearing you right when you're saying it, going and doing, not arguing about it. Not, it is like, it's like a sharpness to your gameplay. The more that you can listen to because you're going through this game, like you see yourself like in a video game, like an avatar walking through a video game. And the person who is the person who's guiding you through the game, who's directing you, is this higher self, which the more you connect to that, so the more it's like, hurry, turn right, okay, go left, okay, right there, grab that. So the more you're listening to that, and the people you encounter, there's an evaluation, there's a accumulation of taking information. And so your encounter, they'll talk, a lot of times they'll talk, explain, I don't know, they're always talking, but it depends on it's like, how well am I listening? How well, like there's a whole thing to it. It's like fine tuning your communication. And then I was, so, the listening, so them telling you something and you doing it right then. Wait a second, because look, there was something, it was like, it was two things. It was like a fork in the road. So let me think for a second. Okay, so the going, the doing stuff. Okay, hold on. I'm going through this echo. Like, go through a fucking echo chamber. Okay. So, accumulation, energy, like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, okay, was I done talking about that? Was that it? Did I finish what I was saying? Sometimes it's like, am I trying to lay out too many pieces? Do I need to just say a little? And then each person does it themselves. Okay, so on your journey. Okay, so on your journey, in your encounters, and you are getting the tools. Okay, yeah, okay, so you're going, and the more you connect to your higher self and get the direction and are able to make those sharp turns and stuff. But the thing is that you have the distraction and you have the avatar. The avatar has got caught up in its own business. The avatar is all caught up in itself. It's just like, yeah, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. Oh, I don't need you to tell me. I've got a plan. And so there's this thing that happens. I mean, that's why all this is going on, because this blockage right here has to be gone. Because the people are so much like, oh, I know where I'm going. I got my things under control. But that's your ego. And your ego is not tuned into destiny. Your ego doesn't know there's a plan. It's already going. And this higher self is trying to direct you through. The ego is trying to figure out its own plan. And it's based on all this different shit they see going on. It's like, well, I got a lot of that I like over there, and a lot of that I like over there. I'm going for that. And then there's higher self's like, no, we're going this way. And they're like, no, I like that. I'm going that way. Okay, let's go see what happens. Let's go learn our lesson. And it goes up, and you go through the lesson, and you learn your stuff, and you're like, go. It's like, yeah, I know. You gotta listen to me. I'm taking the direction you need to go. It's like, yeah, but I want to go over here now because I think something's going to go on over here. And then on top of this little situation, then you have the dark energy. That's when you have, like, in the game, in the video game, it's like these little, like, it's like the arrows and shit that come at you. It's like whatever it is, it's trying to take you down. So the dark energy is in your ear. Yeah, go over there. I like them. They look good. And see how the dark energy, the more you listen to them, the more that it becomes bigger. The higher self is just a little voice. The higher self, the higher mind is just a little voice. I've told you before, it's like a whisper in the back of your head. It is, you have to listen. Not only do you have to listen, then you have to, there's like the steps to follow through. It's like you can be listening, then you can be aware, then you can be listening and talking back. Then it's like a whole thing. And so the more that you get into, oh, take a, okay, yeah, it is like it's like this tuning into your higher self has gotcha. And then you're in battle with the dark. No, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. And your ego is just like, oh, calm down, calm down. We'll get there. Don't you worry your pretty little head. We'll get where you want to go. And so it's like this whole change in demeanor and how your approach to how you go through life, how you get through things and stuff. So, anyways, that is like what we're doing here. That's what's happening here. And that is why it's like so variable, because it's like it's a staircase that all these people have to climb. And all the stairs have got all, they're all full. It's not like that they're all empty and everybody's just sitting back here. No, they're all full. They're all going through the process. The process is just going to be, it looks like we're going one way. It looks like we're going one direction, but then it's going to abruptly switch us. It's going to turn us the other direction. To me, I feel like I am focused on the direction that we're turning, which sounds ludicrous to people, which sounds like, okay, that's a real shame with you. But to me, it's like, yeah, but I'm listening to them. And they've got me through my life so far. And then, my focus is on where we're going, not what we're leaving behind. What we're leaving behind is the tedious kind of like, just having to go back into the medical, which that office was closed yesterday. And they're closed on Monday. So I'm not going to hear anything Tuesday, but I'm going to try and feel positive. Like, okay, well, this could be good. The doctor could be like talking to his friends. He could be like, well, I don't know. I've never heard of going to a local anesthetic on explant. I don't know about that. That seems a little weird. But then once he's like starts getting it in his head, it's like, yo, that makes the most sense though. Like, why would we do more? Why? Like, and then maybe go take some time and look up some videos and see like, oh, it's like fucking 15 minutes, bing, bang, out. It's like, fuck, I could be charging $1,200. I could be reeling those women in every fucking 5 minutes. So I don't know. We'll see how it all goes, because it still is very much, can end up that it's going to be the med beds. But if it's going to be the med beds, I sure think it's going to be a lot sooner. As I just feel like it's, we're at this point. We're at this point of, it's like now or never on our health. It's like this big jump, and I'm just like, I got to get this artificial shit out of me so I can start getting healthier. It's like, fuck, dude, and it's uncomfortable. And so, anyways, I just know that there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people with all sorts of issues, health issues, all sorts of things. I mean, there's people with weight. I'm sure they're just feeling imprisoned right now, just like overwhelmed. Like, I've got to do something. I've got to get out of here. And, it's all of these things, our physical, the physical prison is going to be, being clear. But how do you approach it? Do you go at it proactively? Do you sit and cry? Do you run to the doctor and get medicine and then walk around telling everybody your diagnosis for attention and use it as an excuse? Well, I'm attention deficit. What do you expect? It's like, quit using excuses. Learn to love yourself and accept yourself. Okay, yeah, I do some weird shit. Like, I'm kind of weird. We're all kind of weird. That's what I'm always like, well, we're all kind of weird. Why do I have to not be weird? Everybody else is weird. They just don't want to see that part of themselves. They're just going around trying to pretend like they're not weird. It's like, but I know everybody is weird. Like, I know I'm not the only one. And the one thing too is Crystal had said something today to me about the orphan trains. And so I was thinking, man, there is a lot of stuff that I have talked about since the beginning of this time that I started recording. And a lot of people who haven't been here since the beginning, they don't know all the stuff that I've talked about. And so there's probably is some stuff like that, you don't know that I've talked about. But yeah, the orphan, I've talked a lot about we're lab created. We're lab created. My grandma's, I think that there's some things that show that they were probably off of the orphan trains, because there's some weird stuff like with family stuff. But my family is doing and I don't even know. It seems like I don't know. Or just weird stuff, because they were taking these kids and selling them and stuff. But there's a whole thing about those incubator babies, these Cabbage Patch babies, and I believe the orphan train babies was a way to populate America with people who were just white. They didn't have any culture, even not any with black. It's white, because they are trying to, when they started doing it, it was because there are so many tribes and so many people here that were all dark. And it was like they were trying to whitewash society. They were trying to whitewash. There's a whole thing to it, because there's like a whole science thing. And I talked about it, when I don't know, there was a period of time I talked about, because it has to do with the trans agenda and why they've pushed that so hard, and getting people to not have people to be genderless, and people to give up their right to procreate. But it all has to, and based on insecurities of the connection with the avatar, because all of us don't have a gender. So we don't have a gender. We are genderless. We're energy. We're like our thing that is our vibrancy. It is like how bright we are, how lit up. And that all the people, they're always trying to brighten their light. So even if you think, well, they're real dark, well, you don't know what they look like when they come out, but you can probably recognize, depending on your own spiritual abilities. Like if you just keep seeing somebody who's really dark, they could have just a whole lot of darkness. It could be like, and it can be that they've got too much around them, or they have a lot of darkness in them. Like, I don't know, you got to listen to your own self when you're picking up on that kind of stuff. But the people, we look different, I think. I think that you can get like a feeling. Like when you look in somebody's eyes, you can get a feeling. Like there's a feeling that your soul can pick up on a communication. And so there's that communication that we have that we don't understand. And it is like, I think that the souls can see the light like through your eyes. Like they don't see the eyes like how we see them. Like, do you ever go, I do this sometimes. I've done it ever since I was a kid. Do you ever sit in front of the mirror and just stare into your eyes? Just stare into your eyes and try and look inside. Like, I've done that for a long time. And it's like, it's weird, because it's like a brightness is coming out. And it's not like the color. It's like a brightness comes out. And it's like, I think our souls that's what it sees. And that's what we are, is the brightness is, and some people can be life has beat them down so much it's dimmed their light. But when they come out of this scene, then they would go back to their own vibrancy. But that is what you are, is your essence, is your vibrancy, the richness of your color. And that is another thing too, is I like micro macro, how these minerals and stuff are like bringing the color, the richness back into, I think, my skin too. I think probably my eyes, I think everything. I think it brings this mineral richness back in. Just like how you need all these blood cells to circulate through you know, we need these minerals to give our body its the richness. It's like a dullness sets in. It's like the depletion of the minerals, it sets in a dullness, and it's so slow that you don't realize that you're feeling bad. You could just get up in the morning and feel like, oh God, I feel kind of sluggish or whatever. You know, you could be in the 6th grade and you start, and that's already happening. You're already trying to push through when you don't have enough, you know, and now you're depleting what you have, whatever you accumulated. And fuck, man, like if you are in a poor place and not good nutrition. Oh yeah, because that is what. So when they were bringing all of these, like, their white babies in, it was like they were trying to. That's why they created this whole black and white society, this whole division. You're better, you're worse. You know, they were creating that because they wanted to make their little super people. And their super people can't be dark people. And it's not because, I mean, they've got a problem with dark people. I mean, obviously. But I think it's because the dark people are the connected people. And so, yeah, they're not going to choose the connected people because that's the ones they're trying to get rid of. They don't want the people, the earthlings. They don't want them because they have they're taking over the planet. Like that's what they've been doing for all this time. It's like there was a lot of warring a long time ago on the planet with the different ones, but then when science started coming in and messing around and creating new beings, and not creating new beings but basically creating new beings, that once that start going on, then the is like the kind of the fighting changed, but it's the battle went on for power and strength still, but it was a lot more hidden. That's why all this stuff has been kind of hidden from us. But the other beings could see, and they could see what they were doing. But that is why this energy of so much assistance has come in. It's like this, it's like it all goes together because it's like this cycle. And I don't, it's like, did they have to the end of the cycle to do what they were going to do? And then the other beings were like, okay, now it's the time for the, you know, the expansion. Is that it's the ascension is like this expansion. It's like the universe, like I said before, it's like the universe is like burping. It's like this release of new energy. And it's like this release of new energy creates new realities. And so it's just this expansion in the universe, and that's what we're riding. We're riding on it. But this wave that we're riding out of the dark. And so as we're riding into the light, it's a cool visual. As we're riding into the light, we're leaving the dark. The dark is washing off of us. And that's what we're doing, you know, in the ascension process, this leaving the past behind, facing your dark side. And, you know, it's like this powering through to become who you really are, which to us seems like a new version, but really it's a connection to really the old version. And so it's this transition, this transformation that is occurring here for everybody. So, and it's so weird how you get these people who are like, oh, these people just aren't going to wake up. There's just people who aren't going to wake up. It's like, how are there so many people who know nothing about spiritual shit and they're just out there saying, like, talking like they do? It's like, at least fucking put in 5 years. 5 fucking years? Is that too much? Like, fuck, put in some time to fucking study this shit before you go out and fucking talk about it. God damn. I can't believe that I fucking studied this shit for fucking 40 fucking 5 years. And then when I started doing this, I was like, oh man, I don't know. Even when I was going to start in 2018, I was like, fuck, I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough. God, I don't know. You know, spiritual is fucking huge. And and then plus I think it was burdensome, you're coming out and you're going against all these super spirits because they were like, you know, I don't know, there was a whole add-on to the stuff, all of a sudden, to me, crystals and even Reiki and chakras and shit. Like, I didn't know about that shit. And so there was a lot more stuff to learn about. But then there's always this like, oh man, I don't feel like I know enough. Like, should I be telling anybody stuff? Should I be trying to help them or teach them? Well, my guides were like, get out there and do it. But the ego, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to look stupid. And then, but man, Jesus Christ, there's people who fucking don't know shit out there, like talking like they know it all. And it's like, I don't know. You gotta really listen to your discernment when you're out here listening to some of these people because they're just talking out their ass. It's like, to me, they're just listening to the dark energy or something because they're not listening to a higher minded spiritual communication. Is that they're not talking on that level. And, and there's a whole thing too, is like, whatever level that you're at, people are not going to understand it. They can only understand where they're at. Anything that is beyond, everything behind them, they think is stupid. Everything in front of them, they think isn't real, doesn't exist. Like, well, they're not there yet. So, it takes a lot for people to start being like trusting. And so, but like, I've been going through this for a long time, even. Like, my awakening and stuff started a long while ago. And so it changes in your perspective because it isn't just like you just wake up and that's it. Okay, now I'm awake, everybody, and all you guys are stupid because I'm awake and I see the government sucks and I see the medical sucks and I see the food sucks. So all you dumbasses, it's like, that's not what it's about. And so that is just a part of your awakening, is to start understanding your reality. In the people, they just get so caught up in them. I don't know, their ego and their attitude, and it's like a hierarchy, like feeling like they're so much better than other people, and they need someone to look down on so that they can feel better. And man, that's kind of weird because that is kind of pretty common. Like, really think about it. Most people, I swear to God, there's some people who just have friends that that they look down on just so that they can feel better than them. Like they have a friend who's just like, oh, they're always bugger. They're all, but the person who is this person thinks like this is their friend, but really it's just their scale on a fucking gauge. Like, that's their throwaway. That's their like, at least I'm not that bad. At least I'm not doing that. That's kind of sad. As the person who that person, man, sometimes these things just cross my mind and just feel so sad. Something that makes me so sad is like people that don't have very much stuff. Like I'm talking seriously, don't have very much stuff. Like homeless people, And it was one dirty ass pair of socks, and how fucking prized possession, this dirty ass pair of socks. And then one sock get lost, the devastation. It's like, fuck, man. That makes me so sad. Makes me so, so sad. I don't know why. It's like when people just don't have very much, and they're just holding on to just one little tiny fucking thing. That always makes me sad. I always feel like with this feeling inside. I don't know, it's sad. But all this stuff is for us to overcome, It's just sad. There's so many people are just so beat down. Fuck. People are so beat down and so... there's some big explosion, I guess, in West Virginia. I don't know what's happening right now. in a neighborhood. The fucking news just kept saying, we can't tell what's going on. There's a helicopter going down. There's firemen everywhere. There's smoke everywhere. So I don't know. I could just fucking zap a neighborhood. Just like, okay, well, let's just zap a neighborhood tonight and let's just take one out every night somehow or another. And so that's the thing. It's like, you can't run from this shit. I mean, you can't run. You just got to really get it in your mind that this isn't real. This isn't real. They can't really hurt you. As soon as, like, even if your neighborhood is zapped by their fucking lasers, and maybe that'll be when they start, oh, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. It's the spacemen. All those spacemen. You can see them, can't you? They're up in the clouds. That's their new take on it now. Now they're just like, you guys, they're really there and stuff. Like, this is just the weirdest thing to go through. Because I tried to tell people. Try to get people like, what are you talking about? You don't think there's aliens? Like, what? I would try and get people to have serious talk about it. Like, you really think that we're the only ones here? Like, how does that make sense to you? Like, I would try and get people. And it's just like you could not get them because the news, the government, they said no, it doesn't exist. So obviously you're crazy. And now, just this whole thing is just so weird. It's just like these people just being whipped around, and you're just sitting here like, oh my gosh, you guys, come on. Like, this whole thing is so weird. So, but you can't run. You can't get away from, you know, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And, you know, there's going to still be a bunch that is going to be going. We still have a lot of people who are going to be leaving. Like, it seems like over the next year, there'll be a lot of exits. But then it will start slowing down. But there'll be a lot of disasters, a lot of all sorts of shit. Some of it is, well, there's just so much. There's so much chaos. It's people doing it to each other. I told you, it's like what they came in for. And so if you don't have that feeling, you're not cut off, because they don't see this other stuff. They don't see this other stuff. They're not here for this. They're here for this other thing, to play out this energy. This energy has to be played out. It's like we have to witness the energy. We have to see it. We have to witness it. There has to be people that play it out. And they're not here for this other thing. So they don't see this other thing. They're focused on violence, division, anger, bitterness, like whatever their focus is. That is what they're playing out. So it is kind of like, that's trippy, because that show Westworld, how I've always said, it's just way too much like real life. Like, it trips me out. I can't watch it. And but how it's kind of like the people who think like NPCs and stuff. And in Westworld, how the people, but it is like you're just playing your role. They're just playing their role. They're not supposed to be waking up and remembering who they are and all that stuff. They're just there to play the role. And like in Westworld, like you go into the Western one, or you can go in the future. There's different worlds you can go into. But the thing that makes it that world is the characters that are playing the roles to give it the feel. And so that is what we have here, is that we have a lot of characters that are all playing their roles. It gives us the feeling of what it would be like. It's like it's a part of the simulation. It's a part of the experience. And it's not like they're wrong or bad or lower. It's just what they're playing. And it's so much more sophisticated even, because it's like groups that come in. Oh yeah, and that girl in her NDE too. And she was talking about when they were telling her about the figuring out your different lives and stuff. She was saying like it's a whole thing. Like you go in and you talk to committees and councils and stuff. Like we put a lot of effort into figuring out these experiences. So I don't know. I know that our dead life is our real life. I know this isn't our real life. I know that when you leave here, you go home. And I know that here has a lot of people caught up in thinking that this is all there is, and it's a lot of under mind control, but there is a lot of this we are in this period of time of awakening, but there is different things. As there is people who are awakening, they're here for that process of awakening, but there's also here people here that are just here to play out this energy, and they're leaving, they're not staying. And so there's going to be a lot of exits over the next year, but there will be a period of time where all of a sudden there isn't. And it will be kind of around the time of the med beds. Once the med beds start coming in, because at first there will be a lot of resistance by some people because they're all kind of scared. They're all in fear. And they're all in fear of like the new world order and control and all of that stuff. And so they're not going to be as trusting, which, is smart because like, look at the maid and shit. Like, I mean, there's conscious sucking machines out there. So it's better to approach it to like, ooh, but there's going to be those of us who have been watching and learning and trying to understand all this stuff on a different level, and we'll be the ones who will be like, hell yeah, get me in there. And then the other ones will see like, oh, okay, safe. Look at what it did for them. And so there will be a transition, into the med beds. And then once everybody starts going in those, that's when uh, you know, uh, the endings will change. We won't be exiting like we were. So it's kind of like if you're looking for landmarks, there's kind of like that's kind of when we'll go to that. Leading up until then, though, there's going to be a lot of this, what's been going on, just a lot of death and destruction and chaos and sadness. It's all these endings. It's just lots of endings happening. And so we're going to keep going through the endings, but and then to me, that is where I feel like to a lot of people I would seem crazy because I'm focused on my beginning. I'm going towards my beginning, not towards the ending. Like I know things are about to change, so I'm focused on the change. I'm focused on what's up ahead and looking at like how to do my life going that direction. And so that's why I'm not as focused on, well, I got to go and I did save some more boxes. I've got a bunch of boxes if it should go, if it comes down to it. I'm not like completely, like, oh, well, I'm fucked. I did, I've been saving the boxes for a long time though, because it was a year ago where I kept feeling like I'm going to be going somewhere. And so I've been saving boxes. But now about this, I feel like, I just feel like I've already learned the lessons behind losing my house. I feel like I'm not here for that. That's not what these lessons are about. The lesson is more about this trust. Like everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to flip. Everything's going to turn. And the one judge who I had seen who had said that all debt and stuff was illegal, he had another video out. I think he has a whole website. But he had another video out and he was explaining all of this stuff, the corruption, the government, the bank, all of that stuff, and what the words are and what they mean. And and the government is all this just control. So he was explaining all this stuff, but he was trying to say to the people is we are the ones who have to see it. We're the ones who have to make the change. We're the ones who have to do something. And that's why I keep trying to tell people, it's like you have to start pulling free. And it can be uncomfortable. And I sure can't tell everybody, stop paying your house, stop paying your bills, stop. Like, that's all stuff for people to figure out, and maybe it's what's going to happen here with mine is going to make people feel more secure. Or maybe just all the banking's just going to drop and then they're not going to have to at all. I don't know. But I feel like my lesson on this is going to be different than what it was before. So I don't feel like is going to be taken, but we'll see, because it depends on how we're surrounded by ignorance. We're surrounded by people that don't know what's going on. We're surrounded by people who are living in the three-dimensional world that don't understand that we're splitting, not just splitting realities, but we're splitting control. There's a corporate overlords who have been in control, who have designed this habitat to protect them. And then, that was the insidious part of Trump getting in. They had to get, and they didn't have the money, so they had to have somebody who could pay for their own stuff. And that's why it's like in his heart, he's a good person. And so he took on this role of getting in there. And the thing is, too, is he had to take a lot of abuse. Like it was, I think that it's weird, too, because I don't think he knew how bad it would get. Maybe he did. But still, even if you see something, like if you see it on, it's different when you see it and when you feel it. When you go through it, it's different than just looking at it. And so, but he had to be like scapegoated and stuff. Like there was a whole thing to it. But you know, he was, it was this, like he made the most sense because of his, because he was a corporate businessman thing. Like he knew how to go in and destroy the corporation. He knew how to take it down, how to bankrupt them and stuff. And that's what he was doing the whole time in there. And with his executive orders, he would add on, you know, like those little things at the bottom, the clauses and stuff. Like all the people who have all the money are going to lose it all if they're involved in any of these crimes against kids or humanity or whatever. And so all their stuff, they're losing all of their assets and stuff. So, you know, all these people, he was able to get in there and change their rules on them. That's why they see him as such a detriment. That's why they're so scared of him. That's why they don't want him back in there, is because he changes their rules. But that is how absurd all this is. Like, they're all like fighting over these written rules. God's rule is what matters. Like, but all the souls have to wake up and remember. Like, you don't have to go by any of their goddamn fucking rules. Just because they're all sitting around writing rules, it's like, fuck off with your fucking rules. My rules are in here. I've got my rules. Like, so anyways, but this is the transition that we're going through, and the transition of, you know, all this part that will lead us into this extending our health and life and stuff. But it's like the people have to go through the crisis to know the value of what they have. So that's why we're going through, we got to go through these crises. Like there's no getting around it. We have to go through the crises to understand, so that people can all see and understand the value of what they have. And it's on all different levels. There's so many people that just hate life. They hate being alive. It's way too hard. But the whole thing is it's way too hard is because you're being told wrong. If you were told right from the beginning, you would approach it way different. The whole thing is people are so uncomfortable because they're not approaching life in the way that they should, because they are caught up in this three-dimensional matrix of control rather than the connection to themselves of the unknown. That's the uncomfortable, vulnerable part, because you don't have anyone confirming. There's no confirmation. It's just you and your higher self, which can make you feel crazy. People literally lose their minds over it. And then they go to doctors and ask, what's going on, doc? And they say, well, you're just crazy. Let's put you on medicine. It's like, I don't even know. Like, are these doctors really that dim-witted? Like, I'm really, really seeing doctors as being really, really fucking dim-witted now. Like, so cut off. So unaware. Like, God. I don't know. So, I don't know. I'm sure. Oh, I was like, I'm sure I've been talking a long time. It's only been an hour and 10 minutes. I was like, it's got to be like way longer. Okay, so let me think. Was there anything else that it was that I wanted to say? But there is a lot of stuff that I talked about that I don't talk about all the time now, that I talked about at different times through the videos. And, when I started January 2020, so there's a lot of videos. And I don't even know how you access them. Like, I guess you have to go on a computer. I can't, I don't know. YouTube is doing shady shit. I mean, they're doing shady shit just all the time. Like, I see them right on my motherfucking, I'll be looking at something and the views could be 105 views and all of a sudden it will say 99. They do that shit all the goddamn time. They take away views. They take away, I don't know if they take away likes, but they take away views. They take away comments. They block comments. They do all sorts of stuff. I'm like, ugh. But all that stuff will be changing. And I don't know how much of it right now is just to really highlight the control, so that it just really highlights like, fuck, we're under control. Fuck, we're under control. And it's really that the people who are controlling us, that they're already gone. Like the people from Google or whatever. It was kind of weird too how they showed at the Super Bowl, like Dorsey. Dorsey was there. I would think that guy, that Dorsey character, I would think that was like CGI or a lookalike or something. I can't imagine that guy hadn't gone to court, trial, tribunal, like, no fucking way. That's even one of the things what Elon keeps fucking exposing. Like the shit that Dorsey was fucking allowing. Like he was fucking government psyop. There was some shady fucking shit. And so I don't know. And who was he with? He was with somebody else that was like weird. It's weird. Like, I don't know. They just bring out some of these people. Like, there's no fucking way. There's just some of these people. I just feel like they're already, some of them I think are already gone. But I don't think that they're just letting them out of jail. Like, these are serious, serious fucking crimes these people have done. Like, I don't think people really get how serious that this shit is. Like, this is serious. This is, I mean, people are going against God's law. You are following man's law. You are following orders. Like, this is serious shit. People are doing stuff because someone else told them to, and then blaming it on the other person. Like, this is serious shit. This is soul shit. Waking up. You gotta wake up. And so, yeah, you do things very different when you are connected to your soul. And that's why I said there's so many people that are doing things and acting certain behaviors. Like these girls, they're going and, like I said, I keep seeing them on social media. It's like a fucking red light district. It's like everybody's just doing a peep show. Like, hey, you want a little of this action? And they think that they are being the ones picking and choosing. It's like you're getting the bottom of the barrel, dude. Like, what? You're getting the bottom of the barrel. What guys do you think are out there going like, yeah, that's the wife I want. That's my true love. Like, what? This is, so when those girls feel that, see, right now they are feeling the other side. They haven't felt this side. But that's what I keep saying. There's so many people that are doing things that are going to feel such humiliation when they let their soul in. Like their ego is feeding them, and the dark energy is feeding them some shit too. But their ego is feeding them like, you look good. Power on, chick. Everybody's looking at you. Everybody wants you. And so their ego has got them all in the wrong direction. And so when they all of a sudden they hear their soul, and their soul's like, put on some fucking clothes, cover it up. Why does everybody got to see everything? It's like, that is, yeah, you want to improve your body, but it isn't to just be, stand up on a pedestal and have everybody tell you how good you look. No, it's so for your health, so you can feel good. And then, it's a private thing too. When the body sharing thing, it isn't, I don't know. But I think guys who have any self-respect are not going to be going and taking girls that have been showing it to everybody, unless they're caught up in having a girl that looks good to everybody, and which shows that that guy's got lots of issues, and that's not the kind of guy that you want to go out with. You're not going to feel secure. He's going to be controlling. He's going to tell you how you need to act. You can't be normal. You gain 5 pounds, you better get your ass into the gym. Like, those people that you want that are going to pick you over this look, that's what they're after. They're not after you for, like, your stomach stretching and having babies. They're not after you for what you're going to look like when you get older. They're not after you. No, they're after their own ego. Having all these guys like, man, your wife's so hot. Man, she's hot. When they all have, like, regular women who are sitting there, gaining weight and going through periods, cutting all their hair off, their makeup, not wearing makeup. They got baby puke on them. These women that are just out in the trenches, like, being moms and, powering through, just trying to put on a clean blouse today, and then you got these, women who are just, they're going and getting their nails or lashes or hair, spend tons of money on their clothes. They spend hours in the gym and they look good. And then these guys, you think, like, it's weird. It's just so weird how people are so fucking surface. Fuck, man. That is something in our society that is really, really, like, that is a big thing. Yeah, that's why so many relationships and shit are falling apart. Like, it's so much coming to the surface in so many different people's lives. Because people are so fucking shallow, so fucking surface level, so fucking superficial. It's like, oh my God, it's really gross. But that is the part where the people, like, as the observer of watching, it's like, oh, yuck, oh, ooh, yeah, gross, Karen, ooh. But then for the person, for the player, when they all of a sudden feel it, that is when it's going to be like, oh, that's when it hurts, man. Like, fuck. God, man, what is wrong with me? Why do I do that? Why do I feel like why am not feeling desperate, I think, is a hard thing to face. That desperate feeling. Yesterday I watched this movie. It was called Shattered Spirits. And so I saw it on there. It was called Shattered Spirits. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe it'll be like a ghost or something, like supernatural. Oh my God, that hurt. Hold on. Oh my God. That hurts. Oh my gosh, that hurt. What I was saying. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that hurt. Sometimes I wonder what I'm saying. When it just comes in, it's like a total attack on your throat chakra. Hold on. It hurts so bad, but God, it hurts. Fuck. I don't even know if I could keep going. Hold on. God, like I can't. And when I walked over the fire, it made me feel lightheaded. Okay, I gotta think what I was talking about. It feels like such an attack, man. It hurts when it happens. It's like that almost felt like a sword stabbing through, but it came at a weird angle. God, it feels like a cut. Okay, well, I don't think I can keep going. It hurts. Oh my God, this is the worst one I've ever had. So, anyways, I don't remember what I was talking about anyway, so I really feel like there was a whole injury that came from it. I could go down to my face. I feel like this whole weird thing in my face right now. So I don't know what I was talking about or where I was headed with it. But I was obviously, somebody didn't like it. Don't let these dark motherfuckers, don't let this dark energy stop us. We're going forward. They're fighting us out of desperation. So don't let them get you down because they're doing everything they can. I'm telling you. They knock shit out of your hands. They fucking, it's nonstop. There's fucking attacks with them. So just don't let them get you down. And anyways, just love yourself. Love everybody and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.